All right, so we are going to do a quick KPI power hour. I'm starting with personal development. I got this book in the mail called The Prayer of, I think it's Jabez, and it's really short, but everyone said how really great things about it. So I was going to read for the next it's only 7 chapters. So for the next week, I was going to read a chapter a day. They're really short ones, but it'll be really good as far as some personal development, and you can take notes. And then we'll go right into our daily task list. So if you don't have that printed yet, make sure you go to esuite.iworks.com, log in, click document library, and then type in daily task list and get that printed, and we'll go into that next. Okay, so this is the preface. Dear reader, I want to teach you how to pray a daring prayer that God always answers. It is brief, only 1 sentence with 4 parts and tucked away in the Bible, but I believe it contains the key to a life of extraordinary favor with God. This petition has radically changed what I expect from God and what I experience every day by his power. In fact, thousands of believers who are applying the truths are seeing miracles happen on a regular basis. Will you join me for a personal exploration of Jabez? I hope you will. And then chapter 1. Little Prayer, Giant Pies. Jabez called on the God of Israel. The little book you're holding is about what happens when ordinary Christians decide to reach for an extraordinary life, which, as it turns out, is exactly the kind God promises. My own story starts in a kitchen with yellow counters and a Texas-sized raindrop pelting on the window. It was my senior year of seminary in Dallas. Darlene, my wife, and I were finding ourselves spending more and more time thinking about praying and what would come next. Where should I throw my energy, my passion, and my trading? What did God want for us as a couple? I stood in the kitchen thinking again about a challenge. I'd heard from the seminary chaplain, Dr. Richard Soom, want a bigger vision for your life? He had asked earlier that week, sign up to be a gimper for God. A gimper, as Soom explained, was someone who always does a little more than what's required or expected. In the furniture business, for example, gimping is putting the finishing touches on an upholstery, patiently applying the ornamental extras that are a mark of quality and value. Dr. Soom took his text, the briefest of Bible biographies. Now Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. Jabez wanted to be more and do more for God, and as we discovered by the end of the verse, God wanted and granted his request. End of verse, end of Bible story. Lord, I think I want to be a gimper for you. I prayed as I looked out the window at the blustery spring rain, but I was puzzled. What exactly did Jabez do to rise above the rest? Why did God answer his prayer? I wondered. For that matter, why did God even include Jabez's mini profile in the Bible? Maybe it was the raindrops running down the window panes. Suddenly, my thoughts ran past verse 9. I picked up my Bible and read verse 10, the prayer of Jabez. Something in his prayer would explain the mystery. It had to. Pulling a chair up to the yellow counter, I bent over my Bible and reading the prayer over and over, I searched with all of my heart for the future God had for someone as ordinary as I. The next morning, I prayed Jabez's prayer word for word, and the next, and the next. 30 years later, I haven't stopped. If you were to ask me what sentence, other than my prayer for salvation, has revolutionized my life and ministry the most, I would tell you that it was the cry for a gimper named Jabez, who is still remembered not for what he did, but for what he prayed and for what happened next. In the pages of this book, I want to introduce you to the amazing truths in Jabez's prayer for blessings and prepare you for what you expect God's astounding answers to it as a regular part of your life experience. How do I know that it will significantly impact you? Because my experience and testimony of hundreds of others around the world with whom I've shared these principles have come true. Because even more importantly, the prayer of Jabez distills God's powerful will for you and your future. Finally, because it reveals that your Father longs to give you so much more than you may have ever thought to ask for. Just ask the man who had no future. The prodigy of genealogy. Someone once said there is a really very little difference between people, but that little difference makes a great deal of difference. Jabez doesn't stand astride the Old Testament like a Moses or a David, or light up the book of Acts like those early Christians who turned the world upside down. But one thing is sure, the little difference in his life made all the difference. You could think of him as the prodigy of the genealogy, or maybe the Bible's little big man. You'll find him hiding in the least read section of one of the least read books of the Bible. The first 9 chapters of 1 Chronicles are taken up with the family tree of the Hebrews tribe, beginning with Adam and proceeding with thousands of years to Israel's return from captivity. Talk about boring. The long list of unfamiliar and difficult names, more than 500 of them, are unlikely to make even the bravest Bible student turn back. Take chapter 4, the descendants of Judah, Perez, Herzon, and Carmi, and Hur, and Sobal, and that's just the beginning. I'd forgive you if you suddenly considered putting this little book aside and reaching for your TV remote, but stay with me, because 44 names into the chapter, a story suddenly breaks through. Now Jabez was more honorable than his brothers, and his mother called him his name Jabez, saying, I bore him in pain. And Jabez called on God of Israel, saying, oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, and that I may not cause pain. So God granted him what he requested. In the next verse, the roll call for the tribe of Judah picks up as if nothing had happened. Chelub Shulamir. Something about this man Jabez had caused the historian to pause in mid-drone, clear his throat, and switch tactics. Wait a minute, he seems to interject. You just gotta know something about a guy named Jabez. He stands head and shoulders above the rest. What was the secret to enduring reputation of Jabez? You can search from front to back of your Bible, as I have, and you won't find any more information than we have in these brief 2 verses. Things started badly for a person no one had ever heard of. He prayed as unusual 1-sentence prayer. Things ended extraordinarily well for him. Clearly, the outcome can be traced to his prayer. Something about Jabez's simple, direct request to God changed his life and left a permanent mark on the history books of Israel. Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil. At first glance, the 4 requests may strike you as sincere, sensible, even noble, but not terribly remarkable. Yet, just as the surface of each lies a giant paradigm breaker that runs exactly opposite to the way you and I usually think. In the pages to come, I want to show you how dramatically each of Jabez's requests can release something miraculous in your life, living beyond the limits. When was the last time God worked through you in such a way that you knew beyond doubt that God had done it? In fact, when was the last time you saw miracles happen on a regular basis in your life? If you're like most believers I've met, you wouldn't know how to ask for that kind of experience, or even if you should. What I have to share with you has opened up so many lives to God's mighty work for many years. Recently, I was in Dallas to teach on Jabez's blessing to an audience of 9,000. Later, over lunch, a man said to me, Bruce, I heard you preach the message of Jabez 15 years ago, and I haven't stopped praying it. The change has been so overwhelming, I just have never stopped. Across the table, another friend agreed. He said he'd been praying Jabez's little prayer for 10 years with similar results. The man next to him, a heart surgeon from Indianapolis, said he had been praying it for 5 years. I told him, friends, I've been praying for Jabez for more than half my life. Because you're reading this book, I believe you share my desire to reach for a life that will be more honorable for God. Not that you wish others to reach for less, but for you, nothing but God's fullest blessing will do. When you stand before him to give your accounting, your deepest longing is to hear, well done. God really does have unclaimed blessings waiting for you, my friend. I know it sounds impossible, even embarrassingly suspicious in our self-serving day, yet that very exchange for your want for God's plenty has been his loving will for you, for your life for the past eternity. And with a handful of core commitments on your part, and you can proceed from this day forward with confidence and expectation that your Heavenly Father will bring it to pass for you. Think of it this way. Instead of standing near the river's edge asking for a cup of water to get you through each day, you'll do something unthinkable. You will take this little prayer with giant prize and jump into the river. At the moment, you will begin to let the loving currents of God's grace and power carry you along. God's great plan for you will surround you and sweep you forward into profoundly important and satisfying life He is waiting for you. If that is what you want, keep reading. Awesome. Okay, so that was chapter 1. So then number 2 is going to be, so why not ask? So I guess it's like talking about the prayer. But the book is really, really, really short. And I'm guessing that was the prayer. That little excerpt. Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, that your hand would be with me and that you would keep me from evil. Awesome. Okay, so I'll do the next chapter tomorrow. And what I'm gonna do first on my list, so for the task list, if you look at number 1, you show yourself using the product, which I did with coffee and celery today. So you can do whatever products that you have on hand, or find a video. If you don't have a video of somebody else making it, let me know. I can add you to a chat that people shared videos of them using products. And then number 2 is just talking about, it's basically a life post talking about your past, present, future blessings. So we're gonna spend 5 minutes and type something up about that. I like to go to other leaders' pages to get ideas. You can go to Pinterest and find a quote if you want to that speaks to you and then helps like trigger your memory for something you want to talk about, whether it's that you just started this business and you're excited for your future blessings, like just talk about that book we were just reading. You're excited for what the future has for you, that you said yes to a business opportunity like this, or if you've been in this business for a little while, talking about maybe what your work view is today, talking about what you plan to be doing by the end of the year, talk about your goals. Because when you are casting that vision out on your page every day and you're talking about that in your story and on your page, people are going to be following that and people are going to follow your story. And as it comes true, you're going to be having people want to join your team. You're going to have people wanting to use the products that you're using. So I'm going to set the timer, Google timer, for 5 minutes and just type up a life post for today. And if you've already posted one, do prep for tomorrow. All right.
Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that make this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to you. King of all days, so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for love's sake became poor. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether to me. I'll never know how much it costs to see my sin upon that cross. I'll never know how much it costs to see my sin upon that cross. I'll never know how much it costs to see my sin upon that cross. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether wonderful, altogether wonderful to me. You are altogether to worship, you are altogether beautiful. Here I am to honor, you're my God. You're altogether wonderful, you're altogether merciful, you are altogether wonderful. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether Do you feel the world is broken? We do. Do you feel the shadows deepen? We do. But do you know that all the dark won't stop the light from getting through? We do. Do you wish that you could see it all made new? We do. Is all creation groaning? Is a new creation coming? Is the glory of the Lord to be the light within?
All right, so I'm gonna show you how to make your like photo pop easily on your Facebook, on your Instagram. So you're gonna download this app called Presetters. It's a free app. And you're gonna find a preset. You can also buy these on Etsy, but if you don't feel like spending money on it, this is how you can get them for free. So say I want it, hold on, I got an ad. This is why it's free. So say I wanted to use this preset, I'm gonna hit download that preset. I'm gonna download it to my phone. It's gonna be up here in the corner. And that means I can save it. So I'm gonna save the image and I'm gonna download the app called Lightroom. Now I'm going to, once you have Lightroom download it, you're going to hit this little bottom right button that looks like a picture, not the camera, the one next to it. And you're going to hit from camera roll. You're going to click that image you just downloaded and saved. And then scroll over to the bottom and hit presets. Oh wait, actually, hold on. Where did it go? There it is. So not presets yet. Sorry, at the top right, you're gonna hit those three dots right there and you're gonna hit create preset. And you're gonna label it, whatever you wanna call it. I forget what it was called. Veranda. And then you are just gonna hit the little check mark once you label it. And now it's saved as a preset. So you're gonna take the photo. What I did was I found this quote, I am worthy of my dreams and goals, and I saw that on Pinterest. And then I just literally talked about basically my day. So I'm just talking about my office view, how I was just hanging out on a Zoom with you guys, and how I'm like enjoying, oh, I didn't put the protein pudding bowl in the picture. Maybe, I don't know, whatever, it's fine. I'm gonna write that because I want people to ask me how I made it. Yeah, I didn't put it in the picture. Damn, it's okay. People can ask. So then when you have the picture that you want to take, that you want to have, you can, if you want to take a selfie, try to like mix up your media, like your content with pictures of you, pictures of your family, pictures of your dogs, pictures of your kids, office view, like nature if you're outside is really good for presets. Anything like near windows in your house, like I opened up all the windows behind me. So when I took this picture, it was really bright in here. Whenever your photos are bright, and the light's coming in, especially from the window, it's not going to be pixelated as much when you put a preset on it. But if you are in the dark and you put a preset on your photo, it's going to pixelate it and it's going to look like not good. So don't take a dark photo and put a preset on it. You'll notice when it's pixelated, it'll be blurry. So just try to stay near light, natural light if you can. And then once you have that picture, you're going to bring it in the same way we brought in the preset. So bringing in from the camera roll, and then you're going to scroll over to the bottom and you're going to hit the preset button, which is always the last one. And you're going to find that preset that you brought in and you can just apply it to it. So that Presetters app is going to give you some free versions. You can download it from Etsy. It'd be the same exact thing I did where you download it, save it as an image, bring it in, hit create preset. It's ready to go. That's where these are from. The ones that I've been using are from Etsy that I got, but you can totally use the free ones too. So that put a filter on it. It looks way more bright. It looks way colorful. So now I'm going to hit the check mark in the top right. And actually I'm going to upload it to my camera roll. So I hit the little share and I hit export it to my camera roll. So now the picture is ready to go. So I can post it with my life post. And you can do the same thing, like the picture I took this morning of me and Brett enjoying our coffee. I put a preset on it just to pop it. And that really helps. If you ever want to edit your photos as far as you don't have makeup on and you really like some makeup to put on your photo, happens to all of us. Like we just don't feel like ever really doing our makeup often, you know? So there's an app called Perfect 365. Mess around with it. Don't make yourself look fake, where you can obviously tell that you put on like some fake lashes. People want to see the real you. But if you need to soften your face, get rid of like, I don't know, some dark circles under your eyes, that app's really good for doing that if you are in a rush and you just want to take a quick selfie. And then when you go to post it, I'm actually going to get it ready in a draft. So I have it ready to go. I just posted it recently, and you don't want to post too often. So I'm going to wait probably like 2 hours after my coffee post from this morning. And then I'm going to post this. And it's a life post because it talks about my life view. So I'm just going to hit save draft, exit out, save draft. It's ready to go. You can do that on Instagram too, where you have it just ready to go. You would just get your status ready. Make sure you type it in your notepad first. Oh, I hit share. That was my bad. Make sure you just have it typed in your notepad first. Just in case like the Instagram or Facebook crashes later and it's not saved anymore in your drafts. There we go. Why isn't it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, when you just hit the back arrows, you can hit save draft and it'll be ready to go. So then later today, I can just go in and hit the post. So it really saves time. That was your number 2. So we did 1, number 2. I am going to work on number 8 now. So for 5, I'm going to set the timer. And what we're going to do is add 25 new friends on Facebook and add at least 25 people on Instagram. You can definitely do more than that because Instagram's really like fast going. So you can just add like 50 at least, follow 50 new people. So what you can do is hit search, go find an account that you like to follow, and then go like to their recent post. And that's people who have been online. Like this post was done 11 minutes ago. So everyone who has viewed this, oh, if it lets me click on them. I don't know why it's not letting me click on. Here we go. Everyone who has posted, or everyone who has been online since this was posted, which is recently, that means that they're more likely to follow me back when I interact with them. So follow like 50 people on Instagram, go over to Facebook and go to like groups that you're a part of or friends pages, friends of friends, and follow them there, or start adding them as a friend there. On Instagram too, you can go to places in your search bar and find like places near you and go to recent posts and see people who are at that place today or recently there and start following people that way too, because you know that they're on their social media right now. And then for your Facebook, just make sure you're not adding other like distributors, other reps of other companies, that you're trying to add like friends of friends, other girls, other women, other people, similar interests to you. So you can go to like a dog mom group, stuff like that, or you can just go to some friends that aren't in the business and add some of their friends. But I'm going to set the timer now and we'll do 5 minutes of adding on Instagram and on Facebook.
May the Lord answer you. Incline his ear to your request. May he listen to your longing. And may he be your daily bread. Everybody singing. May the Lord answer you. Incline his.
And since we don't really have to think too much for this one, I'm going to play a podcast episode for us to listen to while we are doing this. And then just you can listen while you're adding, because it's kind of like a mindless activity to add. So it's good to hear some good business reinforcement, personal development.
Hey girl, welcome to the Empower Her podcast, where we are all about taking purpose-driven action toward building lives we really freaking love. My name's Keisha, and I'm an entrepreneur obsessed with giving you actual tools to help take you from where you are now to where you want to go in your life, career, and relationships. And this podcast, it's all about real talk and having some fun as we share incredible stories, tips, and tricks to help us get out of our own way and unapologetically make some moves. So girlfriend, let's do the damn thing. Hey girl, I'm so excited that you're here. I hope you're buckled up and ready to rock, because we've got a saucy little pep talk episode. And truthfully, I just want to light a fire under your booty so you can just freaking rock the day. I'm thinking that maybe you are listening to this while you're doing your workout or you're in the shower. If so, you know I got to say it, throw that loofah in the air, girl. Or maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to put on a podcast in the middle of the day because I need to get hyped, right? You're on a walk, or you're doing laundry, or you're at the grocery store and you're rocking your face mask. Let's go 2020, but for real, girl, buckle up, because either the day is just getting started or it's not over yet. So we need to get hyped. First, we've got to get on the same page here. I believe to my core that you deserve a life that you're obsessed with. Not just kind of into, that you kind of vibe with, like that you are obsessed with. There is no doubt in my mind that you deserve that. And here's the thing. Even if you're struggling believing that you deserve this life that you love, I truly know that deep down in your core, if you're quiet for a second, you know that you're capable, right? Like maybe even sometimes you see these little glimpses of confidence coming through or this like flutter of belief in yourself. And I want you just to think for a second about those times. I want you to hold on to those times and remind yourself of those so that you can keep on going. Because when you make progress, when you keep taking action, that's when you're going to build confidence, which means more of that belief is going to come in. But right now, life might feel really freaking hard or just really tough right now. You might be feeling like you're not making the progress that you want to be making, right? Like you might feel like where you are now in your life, in your career, in your relationships, in your business, and your health goals, and whatever it is that you're working on. You might feel like where you are now and where you want to go is really far away. Like that distance, that space between where you are now and where you want to go just feels really freaking overwhelming. Right? Maybe you actually look at your goals and you're like, what am I doing? Right? Like, why am I even trying? Or you might be just asking yourself, like, am I even capable of this? Like, is this dumb that I have this idea? Is this stupid that I'm even trying or thinking that I might be able to make this happen? Or maybe you're like, you know what, Keish, I'm going for it. But you just feel like every single time that you start to see progress, you're just getting hit with curveball after curveball, and you just don't feel like you can get ahead. And every time something bad happens, you're like, of course this happened to me. Like, of course. But here's the thing. You know that you can do this, so you can't shake it. Right? Like you still want to keep showing up. You're like, I don't know, is this ever going to work out? Or maybe you're wondering why someone else appears to be seeing more success than you, or why you've decided that someone might have it easier than you. So you're straight up just asking yourself, is this even worth trying anymore? Because I'm never going to get as good as she is at this. First of all, friend to friend, please know that's normal. Everybody.
All right, guys, 5 minutes up for that. So now we're going to spend time interacting. So what that is you would go to, if you're on Instagram, you're going to go to your following and you can sort it by the latest people. So it says sort by default, click that little up and down arrow next to it, hit date followed latest, and start interacting with those people. They're probably the people you just followed. If they were a public account, you followed them right away. If they're private, they're going to show up later, but once they accept you. But you can just start going down the list. A cool thing, if you look on here on your daily task list, number 4, it says to like to and comment to. You can do that. You can like 5 photos if you want to of someone's account, and then comment on one just so they see you're there, like engaging with their page. So they go hopefully to your page and start following you back. Once they see your page with bright, colorful photos, you don't have anything in your bio about running a business. It's all about you. They're going to follow you for you. So that's the whole point of Instagram. Like for people to follow you, they want to look at your photos. They read your bio and they feel like they can relate to you. So definitely don't have anything about like having a business in your bio. Don't have like stock photos of the coffee on your page or stock photos of anything. It works related on your page. Have it be more photos of you, of your life. And then in your captions, you can be talking about the business. You can be talking about the coffee that you're drinking, talking about the products. But when someone goes right to your Instagram account, you want to make it attractive for them to want to follow you back. So definitely work on your photos for that. Work on those captions, posting every day. Post on your story is more of like your advertising. So throughout your day, you can add things from Telegram stories chat with anything about the products, anything about the business, throw in your behind the scenes footage, like your life in there as well. You can always follow people on our team. Brett just got home probably. You can follow people on our team and like screenshots some things from their story. You just have to hold down their story and it gets rid of their name in the top left corner. So if you ever see anything that we post, you can feel free to screenshot and take and crop and use. Oh, your hair's gone. I'm recording. Okay. If you're watching this replay, Brett just cut off all his hair. It's all gone.
I know, I love it.
Oh, I feel like I have to have a funeral for your loss of your hair. Okay, so we're gonna interact for 5 minutes and listen to the rest of this podcast. You can do that on Instagram, and then on Facebook, you just you can honestly go to your friends list, like they tell you in number 3, and sort it by newest to oldest friends, and you can start interacting with your new friends that have just been on. And the same thing there. You're gonna interact with them. They're gonna start seeing your posts on their feed. They're gonna start they're gonna go to your page and see your stuff. They're gonna check out your story. So just make sure you are putting stuff on your story and on your page. All right, 5 minutes.
Feels that way from time to time. And growth doesn't always feel good. And I actually think it's so funny when people on Instagram talk about this glow up, right? This glow up with growth. And I'm like, what about the zit that you get in the middle of your forehead after you cried your eyes out, you like stress ate all the cheese and like you're doubting yourself and you're ugly crying and then like you want to glow up, but really like after you're growing, you're just like, what happened to me? That's what it feels like to experience growing pains. But for real, let me ask you, is the thought pattern that you currently have actually working for you? If you're always looking for the reasons why you suck, or you're looking for the bad news, or you're assuming that you're going to get dealt with a curveball, or it's not going to work out, or you're looking at how far you have to go and labeling it overwhelming or even impossible, or you're always thinking that somebody else is just going to be better than you no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, if you're thinking these thoughts, repeating those thoughts over and over again, do you think that's going to get you there? Because let's play this out. Let's play it out to the worst case scenario. Because to me, the worst case scenario of what could happen is you decide that you suck. So you look for evidence to prove that to be true. And then, of course, whatever you look for, you're going to find. So the evidence that you find will make you want to quit and throw in the towel proactively. And then you're going to slide back into this mediocre life with this gigantic pit of regret in your stomach, always wondering what would have happened if you went for it, or what would have happened if you stayed after it, even though you were doubting yourself. Does that sound fun to you? Because I'm going to go with a hard hell no. Not for a woman like you. You have too much damn potential that you were gifted. It's time to get out of your own damn way, step up to the plate and use that potential. Or get back in the saddle if you fell off your horse, or however that analogy goes. You know what I mean, right? So instead of all this crap, I've got an alternative that I think could be much more fun and fulfilling if you're down. And I'm going to pretend right now that you just aggressively like shook your head, or you're like, yes, Keish, I'm in like, let's go mode. Okay, we're on the same page. Here's the thing. What if you just decide you need this season exactly where you are right now? You actually need it to be the type of woman that can handle what's coming next. That's it. You need this tough time. It's not actually the tough times or external circumstances that make you feel hopeless. It's that you've decided that you don't have any control. And let's be real here. Saying that you have no control over your life makes zero sense. You're a grown-ass adult, and you're also a really smart person. So with all of the love in my heart, I'm going to call BS on you playing this helpless card, acting helpless like woe is me, when we're both really damn resourceful, wildly capable women, is not a cute look. Trust me, I've tried the look on before. It's not cute. I'll just save you the time and just like, it's not working for you. Okay? So yes, the world is crazy. There's a lot going on that we cannot control, but we can decide right now, we draw a line in the sand. We stop trying to be perfect or waiting to celebrate when we reach a goal or have someone else tell us that we're cool. And instead we commit to showing up and putting the work in to actually make ourselves proud. And that's what the real success is. Because you know what comes from putting in the reps? Just like lifting weights in the gym, the reps build your confidence and strength, your resilience, your character. Putting the reps in during a really tough season or a day when you really don't want to, that makes you gritty. And like Angela Duckworth says in her book, Grit, without effort, your skill is nothing more than what you could have done but didn't. So today, give your best effort. Feel proud that you did your best. Know that you are enough. That work that you put in today, that you're gonna put in today, that's gonna be enough. Show up with your full freaking heart to today, this gift of a day, and rinse and repeat. Remember, tough times don't last, but tough people, they do. So let's get grittier. Let's put our reps in, and let's show up for the future version of us that's gonna look back at this exact season, this exact moment, and remember, this is what made you. This is what showed you how freaking capable you are. So buckle up, girl. We're in this together forever. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening in. If you love this.
That was good timing. Okay, so we did number 8, number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. So we're using our products all day anyway. And then you can, so for number 9, posting on your story about coffee samples. So when you talk about, like if you're using the coffee yourself and you show a video of yourself every morning using the product, then right after post something about like having samples available or a discount for your 90-day challenge. So people have that option. And make sure when you are messaging people about the coffee, you give them all of the options. So talk to them about the 90-day challenge pricing, talk to them about sample cash, and talk to them about becoming a distributor because they get the 21 samples of Skinny Brew when they get started. So definitely utilize that to your advantage. I did a video on the team page the other day showing you how to make a sampling coffee link, adding into your bio on Instagram and on Facebook. So go check that out on Passport to Diamond if you haven't yet. I think I did it yesterday or Thursday. So definitely check that out. And then we are going to now, I'm going to set the timer and we're going to work on getting our host to post up. So getting at least 10 a day. I've been doing this consistently since Monday, and it seriously works really, really well. And I haven't even really, I posted about the giveaway one time and I got like maybe one host to post up from the giveaway post I did. It didn't really work out that well, but I've been messaging. So we call that green light messaging. That's just going into your Facebook, hitting on Messenger, hitting people, clicking active, messaging people, hey, quick question. And when they respond and they say yes, you say, I'm working on a promotion for my business. Would you be able to help me out by putting up a status for me about my business and that I'll give you? And in return, I can enter you into our $1,500 cash giveaway this month. Something that simple. People say yes, it's a referral post. You give them a status to post. And if you need ideas for that, please message me or your upline. And we can help you with ideas of how to do that, what post to give them. They post it on their page, and now it opens up that one status to their entire friends list. So you gain clients or distributors from that one post. So you get to add people to your friends list, aka they start seeing your stories and your posts. It's all a 360 circle, right? It's all a circle of how this all works together. You are gaining people to your friends list. You're also gaining people who want the product or who want the business opportunity based on whatever status you gave them. So definitely get at least 10 up a day. That's a ultimate. I've been asking as many people as I have to. Usually I do it in the morning, and then I have the post up throughout the day, and then I reply to the people at night. So I have my like little flow going with that. And I write down their name in my planner once they say yes to posting, and I cross it off once they actually do post. I go back to the people yesterday and the day before who haven't posted still, but they said they were going to, and I follow up, hey, can you get that post up so I can get you entered? And then usually I have anywhere from 15 to like 25 people who said yes that day for me to be able to get my 10. So just because someone said yes doesn't mean they're going to post it in that exact second. So just make sure that you are following up with them. Make sure that you keep asking until you get up your 10. And then some days you'll get up 20 hosts to post. Some days you'll get up 10. It just depends on the day. Some days they'll blow up. Some days they won't. So that's why we do consistently every day. On the task list, it says make sure 6 out of your 7 days that you have 10 up a day. So tomorrow is going to be my rest day for that. I'm probably going to do a lot of my following up tomorrow from this week of host to post. But Monday through Saturday, consistently just getting at least 10 up. Do it in the morning, really quick. I usually set a goal. Like yesterday, I went outside and I said I was going to go for a run as soon as I got my 10 up. The other day when we were at the beach, I said I was going to run to the ocean once I got my 10 up. So set like little goals for yourself to get them done and then go enjoy your day. So right now it's 2:00 on a Saturday. I don't know what time you're watching this, but I'm going to get my 10 up and then I'm going to go for a run. Cause that's like that was my little break. I'm going to the park and go for a run or go for a bike ride. Or you can go do whatever you have planned for the day. Just get your 10 up first. So you wake up a little bit earlier before you work your full-time job and get your 10 up, do that. I definitely did that when I worked full-time too. That's really, really helpful just to get it ready throughout the day. And then just make sure you're following up. Following up so important in our business, to just go back to the day before of the people that you talk to about the business opportunity or the products or host a post, and just make sure you're following up saying, hey, are you ready to get your order in? Hey, are you ready to get started on the team? Hey, are you able to put that post up for me? So number 10 gets marked off right now from doing this. Number 7, because once someone posts for you, you can ask them about the business opportunity. If someone doesn't have money for the products that you're talking to, you can ask them about the business opportunity. There's so many opportunities to ask about the business opportunity. And you already did your life post today. So someone could be commenting or messaging you from that. So that can get your 20 conversations about the business. And then number 6 is just talking to people from your host to post. So we're gonna cross all those off right now. And then the only one we didn't do, I think, is number 5, share someone's before and after picture. You can do that randomly throughout your week whenever you want to. You can put stuff on your story. A lot of times I have like my videos of me using my products and then someone else's results or my results or Brett's results on my story, so people can start seeing what the products do, because they need to visualize the benefit of using that and why they're going to message you about the coffee, why they're going to message you about the hair growth. They need to actually see a before and after picture, see some results, see testimonies in order to gain that interest for them. They need to picture themselves doing that. All right, so I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. I'm going to just play probably another podcast episode, and then we can listen to that while we are messaging for host to post, getting our 10 up, and also go, if you finish that, if you're already done that, go work on responding to your other ones. I save anytime someone posts for me, like I write that down in my planner, like I said, but I also save it into the collections folder on Facebook. So I have one area for it to be organized so I can go check on them. So if you don't know how to do that, make sure you message your upline and say, hey, how do I use the collections to stay more organized? All right, 20 minutes. And let's listen to. I got another pep talk.
Hey girl, welcome to the Empower Her podcast, where we are all about taking purpose-driven action toward building lives we really freaking love. My name's Keisha, and I'm an entrepreneur obsessed with giving you actual tools to help take you from where you are now to where you want to go in your life, career, and relationships. And this podcast, it's all about real talk and having some fun as we share incredible stories, tips, and tricks to help us get out of our own way and unapologetically make some moves. So girlfriend, let's do the damn thing. Hey girl, I'm so excited that you're here for this short little pep talk episode because I think you're really gonna resonate with it. And I wanna share with you something that lights a fire under my booty, like for real. And it really pulls at my heartstrings. And it just helps me keep showing up even when I have those moments where I'm doubting myself or wanting to throw in the towel because it just feels hard when you're chasing for goals or a big vision in your life. And it's gonna sound weird, but it's this hypothetical conversation I have in my head with my future very unborn daughter. And full transparency, I understand that I can't control if I'm gonna have a daughter or not, and I'm totally down with having boys. In fact, Stina's dream would be to have twin boys. But I like to keep it real with you. And I think of us on this podcast like we're girlfriends chatting over coffee, or in this case, wine. So I'll be honest when I say that when I visualize this conversation, it's not with a little boy. it's with a little girl. And I think about it all the freaking time. It's a conversation I'm having with her where I'm telling her that she can do anything that she sets her mind to, anything that she wants in this crazy world she can make happen because she's capable and she's worthy and she deserves all of the massive success and fulfillment and this juicy life that she wants. That's going to involve her getting out of her own dang way to chase her dreams. And what she says back to me is what I replay in my head whenever I'm doubting myself. She says, I know I can, Mom. I watched you. So dang simple, so freaking powerful. And that keeps me showing up. That concept of her watching me. I don't want her to look back at me and say, Mom, well, what about your dreams? Why don't you chase your dreams? I want to be an example to her of someone who showed up, someone who worked hard, who loved hard, who changed a crap ton of women's lives because she chose to never throw in the towel, even when it was hard. And truly, hear me out here. If your dream is to be an exceptional, just like phenomenal mom, and that is your main dream, that's awesome. I so applaud you for that. I think that's one of the most important jobs in the entire world, to raise the next generation. And maybe your dream is to crush it in your career or build a business or start a nonprofit and you never want to have kids. And that's totally cool too. It's your life. It's your path. I'm never going to tell you what's right or wrong. We all have different dreams and visions, different things that are placed on our heart. And that's what makes the world so freaking amazing, is we're all so unique. And I just think that true success comes from building a life that you want, that feels right to you. And for me, I've got this massive dream to be an exceptional mom and have a ridiculously impactful business. Honestly, I don't even want a business. I want to make tidal waves of change and build an empire of this super impactful company. And I feel like I'm just starting, like I'm just scratching the surface. I've got such a long way to go, which is why I have to have like things in my head that I can visualize to stay in the game and stay the course for the long haul. So I don't get distracted or caught off guard with how far I have to go to chase my dreams. So this hypothetical conversation really helps me. Because when you think about it, like you learn so much by watching someone's example. Like what they show you is possible by how they show up. I'm so much more impacted by what someone actually does, because that's so much harder, right? To do the thing that you said that you're going to do than just them giving lip service to it, right? Saying they're going to do something or telling me I should chase my dreams, but there's someone who didn't chase theirs. So while I'll never be able to control what someone else thinks about me, including our future kids, and truly I'll never be able to control if this totally hypothetical conversation will ever happen with my future daughter or if we'll even have a future daughter. But does that actually matter? Because thinking about this conversation works for me. It helps me show up because I'm constantly thinking of the example that I'm setting and how ridiculously important it is to me that I become the type of woman that I would be proud to have my daughter look up to. I become the type of woman that I want to see more of in the world. A woman who loves hard, who cares deeply about people, who's authentic in her pursuit of making massive change and making her dreams come true. And this super short but massively impactful hypothetical conversation really does keep my head in the game. And girl, let's be real here. If you're listening to a podcast like this, you've got big dreams for your life and a vision for your future. You're obsessed with personal growth just like I am, which also means deep down in your gut, you know you have massive potential. And when you get a glimpse of that potential and you see that you're capable, that's the moment that you have to go for it. Even if it's just this like fleeting emotion where you've got this little gut feeling that feels like a rumble, you've got to go for it. And the part that's really tough about chasing big dreams and being super ambitious like you and I are is sometimes you go for something and it feels effortless and it's so fun and it's kind of like rainbows and butterflies and happy little unicorns. Sometimes it's actually like that when you're chasing dreams. But sometimes, more often than that rainbow, butterfly, happy little unicorn stage, it does feel like you're pushing a gigantic monster truck tire up a massive mountain, right? And when you're experiencing that resistance, sometimes it's easy to question yourself and think that you're on the wrong path and be like, what the heck? Like I'm experiencing resistance. What's wrong? And you're asking yourself, are you even capable? Is this a stupid idea? Will this ever happen? Will this dream ever come to fruition? So you're going to need to have something in your back pocket that you can tap into, something that you can visualize to keep you on track. Like maybe a random hypothetical conversation with your future unborn, very unborn for me, daughter, or your niece, or your son, or whatever it may be. So, girl, pep talk style, I want you to know, I get you. The woman with the big dreams. We are literally in this together. And I want to remind you, it's not always going to be easy, but that's not what you want anyway. You didn't come here to just cruise through life and show up at the end and be like, wow, I made it. You wanted to make it matter. So maybe instead of resisting this feeling when you're doubting yourself, that you just accept that you're different. You're different than some people. You're the woman that's willing to choose the path, intentionally choose the path, that's got more bumps along the way because you know anything worth having is worth working hard for. And all of that juicy fulfillment, that abundant life that you really freaking want, that comes from taking the more challenging path. That path literally is going to show you what you're made of. And it's pretty cool to think that your life is a testimony of what's possible for other people. And it's pretty cool to think that your choice is how you want to show up to life. You're one shot here. You get to choose how you make it matter to you, how you make it count. And it's pretty cool that a woman like you has already chose that you're here to make it matter, to make it really freaking count. We're in this together. I'll talk to you soon, girl. Thank you so much for listening in. If you love this episode, it would mean so much to me if you shared it with a girlfriend. Like, send it to her right now, or post it on social media and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me get the message out. I am so freaking grateful to be on this journey with you, girl. So until next. Hey girl, welcome to the Empower Her podcast, where we are all about taking purpose-driven action toward building lives we really freaking love. My name's Keisha, and I'm an entrepreneur obsessed with giving you actual tools to help take you from where you are now to where you want to go in your life, career, and relationships. And this podcast, it's all about real talk and having some fun as we share incredible stories, tips, and tricks to help us get out of our own way and unapologetically make some moves. So girlfriend, let's do the damn thing. Hey girl, I am so excited that you're here. Today's episode is juicy and it came directly from a message that I got on Instagram. And it was essentially a woman who said, Keish, I really want to do this thing, but I don't know how. That was the first line of it. And then we went and, we're chatting back and forth. And I love this topic because how holds us back from doing so many things that we want to do in our life. And here's my take on it. You can tell me how to ride a unicycle, and I can understand fundamentally what I need to do, where I need to place my feet, and that there's a certain amount of balance that's required and where my butt needs to sit. Like, I'm a smart, capable person. I can understand the how. But until I actually grab that unicycle, put my butt on it, and start pedaling, understanding that there's a very good chance that I'm going to fall on my face, I'm never going to know how to do it. I'm not going to actually know how to balance it my way, because even if the best unicycler in the entire world teaches me how, they've put their reps in order to get that good, and I haven't done it yet. So how in the world could I know how until I actually start and get that clarity and belief in myself that comes from action? Right? And I think another way to think about this is we have a podcasting course with She Goes Company. And we teach women, the 20 women that join our course every single month, everything they need to know about podcasting, from idea to launch in 4 weeks. How to create content. We talk about niche. We hold them accountable. We have weekly calls. They get to get connected to me, my fiance Sina, to the community of the women that are doing it. Like all of it. They get so much attention from each other and from us as the course creators. But until they actually hook up their mic and they feel their heart beating, right? Like so nervous. And you've got to choose to label that fear as excitement instead of as like wanting to pee your pants, right? Because you're starting to think about the fact that somewhere in the world, someone that you don't even know could be listening to your podcast. They could be listening to your podcast while they are naked in the shower. You might be naked in the shower right now. Like, if so, toss your loofah in the air, girl, because we are here for this. But truly, until you actually are doing it, you can't really know how, right? Even if fundamentally you understand the steps, that's when you start to actually feel the fulfillment that comes from doing that thing. But if we get too caught up in the how, just visualizing the actual action, and we choose to stay stuck, we're never going to get there. We get so caught up in the, but I don't know how, and we choose to start, but really that doesn't even make sense to me. How would you know how to do something that you've never done before, right? Even when you're given a step-by-step roadmap of exactly what you need to do, you still have to actually do it to accomplish that thing, right? And there's this secret sauce that comes in when you essentially take responsibility, like you take full ownership that you actually have to want to learn how. The skill of learning how to not know exactly what's coming next and being a sponge who can learn and also really understand that the prize is in the process. The real reward is the person that you're becoming in pursuit of the goal or that thing that you want to do. And all of those baby steps along the way, that's not time that's wasted. That's preparation so you can handle it when you get there, right? Like all of the knowledge that you get learning how to be a podcaster, it's preparing you with tools in your toolbox, but ultimately until you actually do it, you won't accomplish that goal, right? And when you learn the actual skill of being able to learn how to do something your way, right? Like that deep understanding that failure and stumbling and the doubts that come in are not actually the opposite of success, but they're actually a necessary stepping stone to get you where you want to go. You're going to have so much more joy in the process. You're going to have so much more fulfillment as you're chasing goals in your life. And you're not going to stay stuck waiting for the how, because you understand that you're going to have to take it step by step. And this is essentially an extension of a concept that I've been talking a lot about on social media and on this podcast, that easy robs you of proud. You often want it to be easier, but in reality, anything that comes handed to you on a silver platter, you're not proud of, you're not super excited about, right? Just like if you were given step-by-step instructions and then you accomplish that thing, you're not feeling like you really put the work in to accomplish that thing. Right? And I've been thinking a lot about this concept as our collective community grows. And if you're not familiar with the collective, it's my global personal development community that I developed for women like you that love the style of Empower Her podcast, but want to deep dive more with personal growth content. You get access to a Netflix style platform for videos around monthly themes. You get way more connection to me with video chats that we do, like happy hours and coffee chat Q&As. We have a community Facebook group. We also bring in 2 guest speakers in the personal development space. This month we had an Enneagram expert, Sarah Jane Case, and Trent Shelton. And I've been thinking a lot about this community and how it's growing and how I'm growing simultaneously. And if you're interested in joining the collective, by the way, registration is currently closed at the time that I'm recording this podcast, but definitely jump on the wait list. You can go to KeishaFitzgerald.com/the collective, or even check the show notes. Or if you're driving down the street or you are actually in the shower, after you jump out, shoot me a DM so you could be the first to know when you're able to actually get in, which is going to be on July 1st. Okay. But the point is, I've been thinking a lot about the collective and how it's developing over the last 6 months since I started this company. And gosh, what if I would have waited for someone to tell me how to start a global personal development community for women that are obsessed with growth? If I would have just been sitting there waiting for someone to give me step-by-step instructions, I would have never started because, first of all, communities like this don't exist, and it's developed in real time as I'm just taking the next best step along the way and listening to the community and creating what they want to be a part of. And I keep thinking about women that I adore. Maybe even this might resonate with you, that like we're getting into this habit of hesitating and waiting to feel ready or to feel like we know how. But we are grown ass women. We don't need a permission slip from anybody. And we don't need a manual with step-by-step instructions of how to do the thing that's on our heart. We just need the first step so that we can start and get more clarity through action. And the other thing that happens when we're just waiting for someone else to tell you how to do that thing that you want to do is you miss out on fulfillment in your life and potentially some really epic ideas that could bring you joy in your life and a lot of other people joy in their life. Remember that your life and what you choose to do is also a testimony of what's possible for that woman out there that's watching you, those kids that are watching you, those people that you're connected to. So it's important to understand that other people's experience, right, are proof that it's possible if they've done that thing that you want to do. And taking advice from someone who's already done that thing that you want to do and like asking them for guidance, or for example, I mentioned the podcasting course, like that's amazing. That's helpful. You might get to skip some steps, but that doesn't substitute for the fact that you still have to take responsibility for the how. Right? Like sometimes we're getting so stuck in this waiting exact step-by-step, how process needed that we forget that when you do that thing with your remix on it, because no matter whose prescription you're following, no matter whose step-by-step manual you're following, right? You can still look at things through the lens of saying, yep, this worked for her, and that's awesome. I'm going to take some of her advice, but I'm going to do my take on it, my interpretation of it, my chicka remix, right? Please, girl, don't rob yourself of the opportunity to see success and fulfillment in your life simply because you refuse to take responsibility that even with the best damn map on the planet, even with all of the understanding in the world, the how comes from action, right? I could read every single book about riding a unicycle. I don't know why I'm using this example. It just popped into my head, right? I could read every single book about how unicycles are made and why they were made and who are the best unicyclers in the world. But until I get on the unicycle, I'm not going to learn how to ride it, right? Going through life with this curiosity lens and thinking, okay, maybe I don't know how yet, but what if I could come up with the first step? That is my secret sauce. And Steve Jobs has a quote that says, you could only connect the dots looking backward. And that's so true, right? Like we often take the first step, or, let me give an example of this actually. Like think of yourself like a car. You turn on the engine because it's so hard to move a parked car. So maybe you just need to actually take that first step to turn on your engine. You want to be a better leader? Go first. Right? And then figure out the how as you go, because that's what's going to help people join in on your mission. People are going to admire your courage, and you're going to figure it out as you go, and you're going to get better along the way. You're going to kind of suck at first. That's how we all start, right? Like you want to feel more fulfilled, start trying more things on for size, because even the things that you try, and you don't know how to do them, but you try and you kind of suck at them, or you fail and you realize that you don't actually want to do it or that it didn't work out, that still teaches you what didn't work. That still teaches you what you didn't want. And that's a really powerful lesson too, right? And if you're like, okay, Keish, I hear you, but I want some juicy steps to success. Give me the roadmap. I get that I shouldn't need a roadmap, but I want one. Okay. Here you go. Keep it simple. It's common sense, but because we can be our own worst critics, it's not always common practice to just apply these 3 steps for success. Step 1, pick the first step, right? Like I'm a big fan of deciding one thing that you can do to help get you closer to that goal on your heart within the next 24 hours. I've called this in previous podcast episodes the 24-hour rule. right? You can't run the marathon tomorrow unless you're in like crazy good shape. If so, cheers to you, girl. But you can sign up for the race if the goal of running a marathon is on your heart, right? You can't land your dream job tomorrow, but you can search on LinkedIn for other jobs. If you don't love the job that you're in and you feel like you're stuck, but you're not taking action, go see what other jobs there are. Right? And then you can start that first step in the next 24 hours by actually researching and submitting your application somewhere, right? Or redoing your resume. And you can't have the perfect marriage tomorrow. In fact, you can't have the perfect marriage ever because that doesn't exist. But you can't have your version of a perfect marriage tomorrow. But maybe there's a tough conversation that you need to have with your significant other about how to improve your marriage because it matters to you. Step one is picking the first step to get the ball rolling, to get the car moving. So you're not just sitting on the sidelines in your parked car wishing that you knew how to start it. You know how to start it. You just got to pick the first step so you don't get overwhelmed. And then step two, try that first step and see if it helps you feel like you're making progress and starts you moving in the right direction. See if it works. And step three, if step two didn't work, tweak it and try it again. And then rinse and repeat for forever, ever. I told you this wasn't going to be rocket science. It's common sense, but it's not always common practice because we just make it so complicated. Because sometimes we think that staying comfortable is comfortable until you know that it's not comfortable anymore because you need to make a change. And here's the thing, along the way, I would challenge you to squash those conditional statements and sub in some situational statements that will actually serve you. Create some stories about the process that are actually going to serve you. Label the space between where you are now and where you want to go as something that actually serves you, like exciting, like room for growth rather than overwhelming. Right? Like we often say things in such a conditional way when we're starting something new, right? Versus a situational way. For example, we say, I'm not a runner. So then we don't sign up for the marathon. We say, I'm not a good manager. So we don't apply for that management role. We say, I'm not in a happy marriage. So we decide to throw in the towel and not work on our marriage. Versus if we subbed in situational statements that serve us better. I'm working on becoming a better runner because I'm training for the marathon I signed up for. I'm working on my management skills now because my career trajectory is taking me to a management role and I'm so excited. I'm working on prioritizing my marriage and date nights and real conversations and having tough conversations with my significant other so I can develop alongside my significant other this exceptional marriage that I've always wanted. Those are situational, right? And remember, girl, at the end of the day, the process of getting it wrong, of stumbling, of doubting yourself, of asking yourself like, is this ever gonna work out? Am I ever gonna get there? Those things are so normal, right? And if you feel like you're always getting it like quote unquote wrong, remember that's a massive component and necessary requirement on the path toward getting it right. So girl, you are right on track. Cheers to that. Sometimes we don't think that we're right on track, but you are right where you need to be. You just got to keep going. Try that thing. If it works, awesome, keep going. If it doesn't, tweak it, try again, rinse and repeat. Please don't be the only thing standing in your way. You've got this. I'm rooting for you. Again, if you want to be on the wait list to jump in the collective, it's a global personal development community for women like you and I that are obsessed with growth and doing it together. KeishaFitzgerald.com/the collective or slide on into my DMs. Of course, I always love to hear your input on the podcast. I always love guest suggestions or topic ideas. I'm not doing this and recording it by myself in my Britney Spears mic just for fun. I'm doing it to connect with you. So as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this growth journey with me. We are in this together forever. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening in. If you love this episode, it would...
All right, I'm gonna end the recording. So just work on getting your 10 hosts to post up and messaging throughout your day, and then just like set little goals for yourself every single day.